Okay, so we're back here with finding the equation of an altitude. And again, we have to know what our definition is saying. So the altitude is the perpendicular segment, all right, that connects the vertex with the line containing the opposite side. All right, so if I was trying to draw, all right, the perpendicular segment from point C, now it would lie on the outside. So if I extend it out, all right, AB, if I wanted to draw the altitude, all right, I would draw the perpendicular segment that is coming down and intersecting, all right, that line, okay? So what we have to recognize is that these two segments, all right, are my altitude and AB are perpendicular. And what we know about perpendicular lines is that they have opposite reciprocal slopes. So as I'm solving for the altitude, my first step is actually to find the slope of segment AB, all right? Because if I can find the slope of AB, then I can find the slope of the altitude because it's going to be the opposite reciprocal, okay? So AB, again, is 0, 0. All right, B is 12,6. So I'm going to find the slope of that line. All right, so I'm going to do 6 minus 0 all over 12 minus 0, which gives me 6 over 12, which gives me 1/2. Okay? Now, that's the slope of AB, but what I want now is the perpendicular slope, all right? And that's going to represent the slope of the altitude. So the perpendicular slope to 1/2, remember, it's the opposite reciprocal, all right? So I've got to flip the fraction, flip the sign, so do the double flip. All right, so my perpendicular slope is going to be -2. And now my third step is now I'm ready to find my equation. And my equation is going to include my perpendicular slope of -2 and point C, which is what it has to pass through, which is 18, 0. And now I'm going to plug this into point slope form. So I'm going to do y minus 0 equals -2 times x minus 18. Distributing through, I'm going to get y is equal to -2x plus 36. And then that's my final answer. Okay, so that one was pretty quick. And so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to come down and talk about perpendicular bisectors because this is including all of it, all right? So the perpendicular bisector, again, all right, the definition is a line ray or segment that passes through the midpoint, so that midpoint is big, and lies perpendicular to that segment. All right, so we have both components. So if I wanted to real quick sketch, all right, what I'm going to do with the perpendicular bisector. So let's say that this is segment AB, and I want to sketch, all right, that perpendicular bisector. The first thing I would do is I would eyeball the midpoint, all right? And so that's going to be my first step. All right, so my first step when finding the perpendicular bisector is I'm going to find the midpoint of AB. All right, so I'm going to go straight across, x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'm going to plug into the midpoint formula. So I'm going to have 6 plus a -6 divided by 2, comma, 2 plus 12, or 2 plus 10 divided by 2, which means that my midpoint is 0, 6. Okay, so that's that point right here, all right, 0, 6. Now, after that, what I would do is I would sketch the perpendicular segment that's coming down, right? So that perpendicular segment is going to be perpendicular to AB. So if I can find the slope of AB, then I can find the slope of this line right here, okay? So my second step now is to find the slope of AB. So I'm going to have 10 minus 2 all over -6 minus 6, which gives me 8 over a -12, which gives me -2/3, all right, as my slope. Now, the third step, though, is I actually want my perpendicular slope. And so that's going to be my opposite reciprocal, which means that my slope is 3/2. And now my final step is I'm now going to write the equation, all right, of that perpendicular bisector. And that equation is going to include my perpendicular slope of 3/2 and my midpoint of 0, 6. So I'm going to do y minus 6 equals 3/2 times x minus 0. I'm going to distribute through. I'm going to have y minus 6 equals 3/2 x times, or plus 0. I'm not going to write it. And then I'm going to add the 6 over, so y is equal to 3 over 2x plus 6. And that's my final answer. All right, guys. So that's kind of the bulk of this lesson. So I do have 3 more examples down here. So what I would like you to do is I'd like you to try them on your own using the steps from up above. And I'm just going to show you my answers here. So I did outline them step by step, you know, so I'm guiding you through. Like, for example, median, you're going to find the midpoint. Then you're going to write the equation, and then that's your final answer. For altitude, you're going to find the slope of AB. You're going to find the perpendicular slope, and then you write your equation. And then for perpendicular bisector, all right, again, I'm outlining each step. So go ahead and pause it here and then see if you can get those answers as well, okay? All right, that's it. Really quick lesson.